So if I wanted to quit my job in 2025 and start a business and make 10,000 a month, here's exactly what I would do. And if you're new here, my name is Gusten and I've been a funnel builder for the last decade or so, building over 600 sales funnels and info products and helping people create their offer and launch it to the world in the education space for a lot of creators and personal brands, including some of them that you might be familiar with, such as Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Jordan Welch. Well, for him, it was more his software business that he ended up selling and exiting for a multiple seven-figure sum. And so what I've seen has been super interesting, and everything that I've learned is going to help you take this and apply it in your own life if you want to quit your job. And so after having a funnel agency business for years and years and years and just doing that, I started getting questions from people asking how I got all of my clients. And what was super fascinating was, and this is the key lesson, the first one that I'm about to tell you as well, is people start asking me how I got all these clients, if it was cold calling, if it was cold emailing, or social media outreach. Because I'm sure you've seen at least one of them or multiple of these methods being preached by gurus telling you that that's the best way to get clients. And for me, I never did any of those. And so I just put out content because I actually chose something I'm passionate about, and I started getting people to come to me. And so what I discovered was, if I can just create better content, and I'm doing this right now in my coaching business as well, so this works for you no matter what business you're in. But I started putting out content that was authentic to me. So when people say you have to be authentic, build a personal brand and be authentic, that's what they actually mean. Your true and fullest self, along with your passions and your skills and your failures and the lessons that come with that. And I did that for years and years. And I got clients coming to me, number one, because they could trust me. I was being myself. What you see is what you get. But also, I posted all my projects and everything I worked on, every course that I bought, every mastermind I went to, events I attended. I always documented everything that I did so that people could see the ups and the downs, the ins and outs, and the wins and the losses. And in doing so, I started getting bigger and bigger clients, which built a lot of trust as well. And here's the thing, a lot of people try to get the Tony Robbins as the client without getting the startup company, right? And so if you want to get the big client, you have to try to get the first one, work with them, and then post about that so people see they actually have at least one client. And that was the biggest mistake that I did in the beginning, is I didn't post content because I didn't feel like I was good enough. And so they say that you should hustle in silence and then celebrate your victories publicly. But I believe that you should just be yourself, not even worry about victories, public, private, and just be yourself publicly and privately. That doesn't mean that you're gonna post all your breakfasts, but it means that you're going to put your true self out there, and the beliefs that you have and the things that you actually value, you put them out there and you stand for them. So if it's something like, me personally, I don't do sales calls, which is another lesson. I just put that out there. Hey, you don't have to do sales calls in order to close high ticket clients for a service or a coaching offer. And that is true. And I'll explain exactly why that is the case. But me saying that also attracts some people who are like, but I like doing sales calls. Or they say, oh, well, that's not true. That's not going to work in my industry. And yeah, that's true for some, to some extent. I'm sure there are certain industries that, for example, real estate, you may not just want to close, sell houses through DMs. But if you're selling, freelancing services, coaching, online courses, communities, any sort of like digital products, then you don't have to do sales calls. You don't have to do proposals. It can all be in DM conversations, just like I've done. So the main key has been in that early stage was to just document and build my personal brand. The second that I quickly touched on was to build a proven sales process. So when people talk about funnels or sales calls and VSL funnels and all these things, they're talking about a specific way to create a customer journey, a sales process. So customer journey is essentially just getting someone who's not interested in what you have to offer because they don't know about you, to capturing their attention, building an email list, and actually building a relationship with them, nurturing that relationship over time, and then having them buy something from you. And that's a sales process, aka a funnel. What I've noticed though, there's a lot of value in building a flywheel effect as well, where you have a low ticket, you have amazing experience, and you have a back-end higher ticket, and you build recurring revenue because people can buy from you over and over again. And so now I've built between 5 and 7 different income streams that I'm actively focused on. And so the reason I'm saying between 5 and 7 is because sometimes I get paid for certain things that I've done in the past, which are more passive incomes, but they're not a big focus moving forward. And so that leads me to the next lesson, which is simplicity. I want you to take a quick break and just a deep breath and just ask yourself, like, how do you feel right now from all the advice that you've seen online? Everyone telling you to, even me saying you should have multiple revenue streams. Is that exciting or is it overwhelming? People saying you have to cold call or you have to do sales calls and filling up your calendar, so you have basically no time to actually enjoy the business and the freedom that you've supposedly acquired from making money. How does that make you feel? Is it exciting or is it exhausting? And for me, I realized that I could make a lot of money, but I could scale into pain and stress instead of scaling into freedom. And so I went from having 19 people on my team. Just think about the expenses that come from that. Having some people full-time, some people part-time, some people project-based. It was super stressful. And along with other things, I ended up crashing and my health was declining for a very long time. Now recently, after being sick for a long time, I discovered that I have mycoplasma, I had running cough, a couple different things, and I was sick 10 weeks out of 12 because it kept just healing and then breaking down again. And I discovered exactly what the problem was, and the reason it was causing me these health issues were underlying stress. So it could be from misalignment, it could be from trying to do too many different things, but I think it was a mix of trying to be perfect everywhere. I mean, just look at the office, the equipment. If you look at everything that I bought, it's probably around 50,000. When all I need is one camera. I could have shot this with my iPhone. I could have shot this with my web camera. In fact, I do have a lot of videos where I just do a whiteboard, no editing. I do screen share and actually focus on a system, a framework that I've outlined in a whiteboard digital format. Which brings me to the next lesson. Stop overcomplicating everything, right? Just from acquisition to conversion and to delivery. And that's just a fancy way of saying, stop overcomplicating how you're getting customers, the content you put out there. It doesn't have to be fancy cameras. It doesn't have to be fancy production or editing, because you're not trying to impress anyone. All they care about, your community, all they actually care about. Sorry, the video cut there for a second. So stop trying to impress people on the internet who are essentially strangers, and instead focus on what would I want to hear, what would I want to read, what would I want to watch, and what would I want to create. Because the beauty in authenticity with authority is where you have something that you're actually passionate about, something that you're good at. And that doesn't mean that you have to be world class. It means that you have now decided to dedicate the next couple of years to mastering this thing. And in doing so, you're going to post about it, and whoever want to buy from you, they can buy from you. Whoever is not interested and they go somewhere else, totally cool as well. And when you live in this energy of abundance, and not to get too woo-woo, I'm not a woo-woo person, I just believe in authentically providing exactly what I would want and what I believe in is the truest form of entrepreneurship. Because then some of you are gonna watch this and gonna be like, what a bunch of BS. And some of you are gonna be like, this is great. This is something I resonate with. And that's how business is supposed to be. I love having people in my community, people like you, watching these videos and being like, I had so many breakthroughs just watching your free stuff. I've had people messaging me saying, I got so many clients just watching your 10-hour free course. I've had people reach out and say, I help them quit their job, which is the title of this video. And it all makes it worth it when I stop focusing on what other people think, the haters, the doubters, the inner critics, and just focus on you. How can I serve you? The beauty in life is when you get to combine your truest form of self, which is who am I actually, like my identity, what are my highest values, and what are my gifts from the universe or God that I can sharpen, share, and create products to sell to those who want to buy it. And if you think about business, it's all a value exchange. So it's just the most simplistic form of just exchanging things for money, right? And without getting off track, that's how I would start creating a personal brand and creating services and offers that people can buy when they want to. So that means you're not gonna scale as quickly because you're not trying to brute force your way to, convincing people to work with you. You're not trying to get all of the bits and pieces, the scrambles of what's left from other people actually building brands, because you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. You're going to set a goal over the next 90 days instead of 30. Maybe there's a bigger thing that you want to achieve in like 2 years instead of 1 year. And so I know for a lot of people, they want to travel the world, they want to make 10,000 a month and quit their job. And the fastest way to do that is to not focus on the money, but to focus on the value, the product, the digital assets that you can create in order to do so. And having a personal brand is an asset. It's a digital form of asset that is one of the highest forms of currencies in today's economy. And so it would be almost dumb not to build a personal brand. And here's the final lesson. It would also be dumb to build it in a form that doesn't serve you. And so some of you are gonna feel great hearing this, and there's a sense of relief knowing that you don't have to build a personal brand like Mr. Beast. Maybe not even like I'm building, but you can build a personal brand that is true to yourself, maybe outside your comfort zone, but still fits your personality type. So some of you love writing. I know a multi-millionaire who stopped doing YouTube videos, and he's financially set, so he can just write books, make them really good, and then have a slower form of dopamine hits, because it's gonna take years for the return to come back from people, like millions of people buying his books, versus someone else who's like, I wanna make 10,000 next month. Well, then sell one-on-one, go from one-on-one to then doing group done with you. So done for you, done with you, do it yourself. And that way you can create multiple revenue streams. I also talk a lot about having not just one, income stream and relying, like putting all your eggs in one basket, but also building something that you can have decision and freedom in the form of options as to how many projects you take on. So even me, I do one-on-one coaching. I'll put a link in the description, you can check it out. So to wrap this up, let me explain how to actually do this so you can quit your job. The first thing you need is a content strategy. So think about what is the best form of content for you. Is it writing, doing short form videos? Is it long form on YouTube? Do you do whiteboard videos? And then ask yourself what platforms you're gonna be on, which kind of goes hand in hand together with the content. For me, it's YouTube and Instagram are the biggest ones that I'm focusing now, but I've also built a personal brand on Facebook, believe it or not, where you have different communities and you can get people to your profile, and have a Facebook group of thousands of people as well. I then funnel people into my DMs, my email list, and I build an asset of a newsletter that I can, with the click of a button, reach thousands of people. And that only happens when you give freebies away. So freebies are a great way to package something together, like a checklist or a template or a script, and see if people are actually interested in that topic. And now, so whatever industry you're in, you have topics that you can test and see what people want to learn. And if a lot of people want the free thing, then some of those people are also going to want your help implementing that thing. So that's a cheat sheet for you, a hack to actually seeing what works and get a proof of concept, market product fit. And then you create a Google document where you outline your offer and kind of like a VSL written out. And so it's who we're helping, how we can help you. In fact, just check out mine in the description. Even if you don't buy from me, just see what mine looks like. And then you have the final part, which is automated sales funnels. So you have a sales page. I'll also put funnelsuniversity.com so you can see how that works. That has generated me over 1,000 people who bought a product for $1,000, which is $1 million pretty passively through content, sales pages, and then automated delivery. So this is how you build multiple revenue streams so you can quit your job and not have to go back to it when you just rely on one thing. So keep in mind the transformation you help people with, find out free things that you can give to attract them to you, have values and opinions that reject and repel the wrong people, and then let people choose from your different products and services that you offer. One transformation, one process, one unique way of getting people there, and then building a personal brand around that and having options where people can choose what they want to buy, and working with you personally one-on-one. So that way you get customers on the front end, you get leads through your email list, and you get clients on the back end for one-on-one, where you make more money, but it's less, it's more exclusive, it's less scalable, and it's more access to you, which is a beautiful way to build a business. I call it the hybrid model, because you can sell multiple offers and you can scale without selling your own time, and you can sell multiple levels and layers of access to you.